And I thought that the House managers did a really comprehensive, excellent job in presenting the evidence and weaving it together in a narrative that clearly demonstrated that the kind of behavior that they included in the articles of impeachment was exactly what the founders were worried about, and why they put in impeachment into the Constitution, because of course they knew there were going to be elections, but they thought that there might very well be, at some point, given human nature and the tide of human events, a leader whose behavior would be so egregious, so threatening to the Republic that there had to be a remedy. Now, I'm obviously realistic enough to understand that the House Republicans and the Senate Republicans don't want to hear this, don't want to have to think hard about it, don't want to have to make a decision, and are going to probably default to basically deriding the case. They started that today, and then trying to move it as quickly as possible without any more evidence being presented or witnesses called. I hope that this will haunt them for not only political but historic reasons. That, it's one thing to take the behavior that was embodied in the impeachment articles seriously, but then conclude that it didn't rise to being convicted in a Senate trial and removed from office. It's another thing to be unwilling even to entertain the seriousness and the implications of these charges. And I thought Adam Schiff did a superb job in his summaries, because he really got to the heart of the matter. When people criticized Speaker Pelosi for not rushing to impeachment, because, let's be clear, there were a lot of things that could have triggered an impeachment investigation, based on my experience and based on having been one of the authors in 1974 of the analytic piece about what constitutes high crimes and misdemeanors. So I have more than a passing familiarity, both professionally and personally, with what impeachment is. And when Nancy repeatedly held the line, she was absolutely right. Because you had to build a case, and you had to demonstrate as clearly as you could that the behavior threatened the security, the sovereignty, the integrity of our country, and most particularly our elections. So Schiff's point, which everybody should emphasize, is that when you have a pattern of behavior like we saw in the 2016 election, once again being engaged in this election, it's not a retrospective. This is about what could happen in 2020. And I thought that the House did a very professional, very careful job of it. And I served with some of the Republicans who were still there in the Senate, and I find it absolutely beyond my understanding why they are so cowed, so terrified to do what most of them know they should do. So we'll see if there's any miracles, but I'm not expecting that.